Hi, welcome to my CareCollab video on Psychopsis. And joining me in this CareCollab is this is Psychopsis papilio. This is a plant that I purchased last year in May during the pandemic. The plant itself arrived with the spike, bloomed. It was beautiful for 3 weeks, then it fell off. But it did not appreciate my repotting. I thought it would help because the plant was in some sphagnum moss, and the roots looked like they were rotting. So it went through a very, very hard time afterwards, and I was almost certain to lose it, but I did not. And so instead, what I did is I took it out of its potting medium and I just put it in a vase, and it had more sphagnum moss at one point, but I took most of it out. And now basically once the roots are white and dry, I just add a little bit of water on the bottom, and I wait till all the roots are green and absorbed, and then I dump the rest of the water out, and I wait for the roots to dry. And the plant goes through basically it goes through a fertilizer phase, then the next time it'll be clear water, then it'll be CalMag, then it'll be Epsom salts. And I try to flush the pot out basically with plain tap water once a month. So I just fill it to the top, dump it a few times, and just to remove all the salts, and that seems to be adequate. In the past, I've had a problem. The leaves in general would be spotted with yellow, and I'm fairly certain now it was probably some kind of deficiency, because this time around it hasn't done that. So, and I'm a lot more careful with my micronutrients, macronutrients, if you will, particularly because I grow lots of frags and pathios. So the water I use generally is half zero water and half tap water, because my tap water is 180 parts per million. I don't think this plant particularly cares for TDS necessarily. I don't think it's a problem. I wouldn't go past 300 for most orchids, but so far this has worked for me. So far this year, this is the third flower, and the flowers last like about a month now. I don't know if you can see in the back there, there's a little green thing in the back of the flower. That's probably the next bud that's going to form. Anyways, the best part of this flower, I don't know if you can see it as I'm getting closer, the flower isn't wet. It's just, it sparkles. It really has, all the yellow parts sparkle. They're very, very pretty. And the upper part of the plant, or the flower, excuse me, is kind of shiny. So it's kind of hard to tell in this light. But I really, really do like the look of this, this flower. And I like the fact that they're long-lived, you know. The idea is if you can get one and keep it happy, it will reward you for many months. Usually this could bloom for 8 months out of the year if it's really, really happy. The thing is, even if it stops blooming, do not cut the spike, because it will bloom again for you next year. So unless that spike turns yellow, do not cut it off. And even if you do break the spike, chances are it will try to continue the spike on one of the nodes. And to give you an example of that, I don't know why it's doing this year, but as you can see here, it's doing this. I don't know if it's trying to branch. Maybe it tried to branch initially, I don't know. But that's what it would look like if you did break it. It would start to form a spike from that area. It would just continue the spike. So never, never, ever cut your spike unless it turns yellow. Now, the only time you could consider cutting the spike is if your plant is in poor shape, because these are known to bloom themselves to death. So, yeah. So, this is Psychopsis papilio, but there are other forms. There are hybrids. There's Psychopsis kahili. There's a whole bunch available for sale, depending on your country. So, so yeah, I hope you found this video helpful, and I invite you to visit the videos of all the other care collabs for this plant, for this orchid, and I hope yours is growing well, and thank you for watching.